Hello, friends, family, past clients, and strangers who could become friends, family, past clients, and all of the above. My name is Rayce O'Connell. I'm an agent at Remax and part of the Rooted Real Estate at Greater Lansing team. I've been seeing a lot of posts lately on Facebook where people are always talking about how they didn't learn enough about taxes, and it's a subject that makes them uncomfortable or nervous. So I wanted to share the knowledge I know about property taxes, just a little bit of brushing up on the subject matter we all wished we learned more in high school. Ooh. Ooh. So how are they calculated? So your home's property taxes are based off the SEV, which is known as the standard equalized value, which is typically 1/2 of the home's market value. So if you just bought a home for $200,000, the SEV will be adjusted to be $100,000. And then of the SEV, we then use millages, which is the rate at which the property is taxed. You can think of it as 1/1000th of a dollar, or for every $1,000, it's $1. So if you have like an example millage rate of 9.3 divided by 1,000, you get that decimal point, 0.0093. If your home is $100,000, or if your home is $200,000 and your SEV is $100,000, you multiply it by the millage, and then you'd be right there at $933 a year. So we vote for our millage rates in every single town. So everywhere is different. You may have noticed, you hear rumors, oh, I don't know if I want to live in that place because it's high in taxes, or, oh, I want to live here because we don't pay high taxes. If you stick around to the end, we'll play a fun little game of where in the Greater Lansing area pays the higher amount of taxes and which area actually pays the lowest. You may be surprised. I was. Another thing that you need to consider too is there's homestead, which is you live there primarily, so you're just taxed at just the regular homestead rate. Non-homestead, so if you have an income property where you rent it out, or you have like a vacation home or something along those lines, just a second house in the state of Michigan, you pay 18 mils more than you would for homestead. So to all my friends and family out there and peers that are like, oh, I'm renting, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about property taxes. You are paying for the non-homestead property exemption. So at least your rent is going towards benefiting the local societies more than just paying homestead. And then a lot of people don't know this, but your taxes can be lowered. And where I live in Bath, and typically it's kind of the same everywhere, you get a time to file for an appeal. It's in March. As a real estate advisor, I recommend that if you want to lower your appeal, you go pay the $500 or whatever for an appraiser to give you an official appraisal report, because your township can't argue with what a licensed appraiser has to say about the value of a home. So in my case, with COVID, everything had gone way up, way too fast. And I was able to actually lower my SEV by $20,000 because I fought with the city and got an appraisal done, and they're like, okay, well, I guess we got to go with that. And then in some certain situations, like veterans, people with disabilities, and people of a certain age, senior citizens, can get reductions. I'm not an expert on doing that part. I recommend reaching out to like a CPA or your local township authority to see if you can file and qualify. Okay. And then I drew this out for you guys just because it's my little handy dandy hand-drawn little chart thing. So this would be your tax rate, and these are the years. Let's say grandma bought this house back in 1950. So taxable value and standard equalized value are not always the same thing. Your taxable value once you purchase a home typically does continue to increase slowly over time. Except like I added right here, say this is 2008. When everyone's home's values drop, your property taxes do drop. So there's a silver lining, I guess, in major recession and economic catastrophes. However, because we get this a lot with people, and this is the main reason why I made this video, is it is important for your agent to educate and teach you that when you purchase a home that hasn't sold recently, so if it sold like a year or two ago, you're not going to see too much difference unless the value like skyrocketed, like it was a flip or something. But if grandma's owned this home for like 40 years and you see that like ooh, $1,400 a year in taxes. I can pay that. No. As soon as you purchase that home, it is going to move the SEV to be 50% of the purchase price that you put in. So it'll be uncapped. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. That requires way more. I'm not a Dr. Schmidgel. I only took accounting and finance courses in my master's courses. So I'm not an expert on how exactly it is, but we'll just say SEV 50%. It's going to uncap and go to that, and then it'll slowly creep from there on up. So keep in mind when you purchase a home, almost always taxes are going to go up. There are certain situations, you get the home for a deal, or it goes from non-homestead to homestead because it used to be a rental or something and you're buying it. So there's potentially a leveling out there. Not every situation always means a huge increase. So I included this slide just to give you guys an example of, the pointer's there, my own tax record. So if you see here, the millage rate here, how much it is, the amount goes down. I added this in because I really wanted to highlight this little feature. So if you go on bsaonline.com, you can actually look up your home's taxable incomes. And then from there, it can show you the breakdown like this. And then if you see these like multiple zeros, that's not a millage rate. It's actually called something called a special assessment, which if you're going to be selling your home in almost all cases, except maybe a drain assessment, you have to pay that. So if I want to sell my house right now, I'm going to lose $25.37 out of my net proceeds because I still owe it on that street lights. So special assessments, again, are charges that show up in tax bills but are not part of the taxable value of your home. Like drains, lights, larger construction projects. I want to highlight, if you see something like this going on outside, hopefully not disastrous like that, but construction going on, you're going to be paying up in a special assessment 9 out of 10 times because it's usually a project that you didn't have to vote for to happen. It's just happening. They'll show up as no millage rate at all. And then there are assumable ones, but for the most part, they're non-assumable. So again, drain assessment, potentially you can pass on the other one, but all other ones, typically you have to pay off out of your net proceeds. And so I know we're all right here. It's excruciating, it's boring, it's taxes, no one cares. But I did want to play a quick little game. So I pulled these from the 2021. Here's the source if you guys want to go ahead and try and write that down and then copy it into a browser so you can see the millage rates of every single tax authority and school district kind of municipality thing going on. Who here, well, I can't see your hands, but more often than not, everyone always says, and I had thought this for the longest time as a real estate agent, that the highest taxes are going to be paid in East Lansing or Okemos. You get people who are like, I want to live there, but I don't want to pay the taxes. So if you guessed if it's one of those two towns, I want to let you know right now that you're wrong. It's actually City of Lansing within the Waverly School District. They pay 62.7314 mills. So example, if you have a $100,000 house in that area, you'd be paying $3,136.57. I mean, kind of crazy to think because most people don't think that area is a high taxation authority, but it is. Not that East Lansing and Okemos and the other places that you've heard rumors about are super far behind that, but that is the highest. And then the lowest, sometimes people say Bath. It's one of the reasons why I moved here is because of low taxes, but the lowest rate is actually Essex Township with the Fulton School District at 25.6739 mills. So if you had a $100,000 house that you just bought, you'd be paying $1,283.70. That is quite the difference, less than half of what the highest is. So that is important. A lot of times people figure budgets and base their buying upon where their dollar can go the furthest. So if you guys are interested and have any more questions about this, I'd be happy to help you out. Here is my cell phone number, my email. I'm available any day of the week if you guys have any questions or inquiries. Otherwise, Have a great day. I hope this was helpful. I hope you kind of feel a little bit more confident and like how taxes work in the local areas. And again, always and always go out and vote, be more active in your local community so you can continue to better understand what these millages are for, what they're going for. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you around.